Greetings, Gran Turismo enjoyers, and since a lot of people have been doing these spend a lot of credits to make one race challenge type videos, I decided to join in since I too have been pouring in a lot of time and effort into grinding a lot of in-game credits to collect some of the more expensive cars in Gran Turismo 7. So yeah, I decided to do one of these challenges at the Nürburgring. And yes, it has to be at the Nürburgring because that's how it rolls with these challenges. But anyways, let's take a look at the grid, shall we? In this corner, we have costing 12 million credits. We have none other than the iconic McLaren MP44 driven by Ayrton Senna. Yeah, this one sure is a looker. In this corner, we have costing 8,500,000 credits, the Mercedes-Benz CLK LM. Yeah, it didn't win Le Mans, but it was pretty dominant in the FIA GT Championship, and it won every race in that championship. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits, the McLaren F1 GTR Longtail. Yeah, this car had a price increase. And in this corner, we have costing 16 million credits, the winner of the 1995 24 Hours of Le Mans, the McLaren F1 GTR, the OG. And in this corner, we have costing 18 million credits, and the winner of the 1970 24 Hours of Le Mans, the Porsche 917K. And yeah, it has a pretty iconic livery, by the way. And in this corner, we have the multi-time Le Mans winner costing 20 million credits, the Ferrari 330 P4. And in this corner, we have the car that never got to race costing 12 million credits, the Jaguar XJ13. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking car, by the way. Shame that it never got to race. And in this corner, we have costing 6,750,000 credits, the 1967 24 Hours of Le Mans winner, the Ford GT40 Mark IV. And yeah, this car, just like the GT40 that preceded it, beat Ferrari at its own game. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits, the iconic supercar of the 1990s and the fastest car at the time, the McLaren F1. Yeah, it's a pretty slick looking car with papaya orange. And in this corner, we have costing 10 million credits, the road-going version of the Porsche 911 GT1, the Porsche 911 GT1 Strassen version. And yes, it is really a race car for the road as per the GT1 regulations. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits. And in this corner, we have an old-timey Formula 1 car costing 20 million credits, the Mercedes-Benz W196R. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits and making its first debut in Gran Turismo 2, but not returning to the series until Gran Turismo 6. Give it up for the Shelby Cobra Daytona! And yes, it had a massive price increase from Gran Turismo 2 and pretty much every other game that had appeared. But anyways, in this corner, we have the iconic car costing 20 million credits, the super expensive Ferrari 250 GTO. And yes, this is the same car that was so expensive that even Top Gear themselves couldn't afford insurance. And in this corner, we have costing 6,700,000 credits, the car that beat Ferrari at its own game, the Ford GT40 Mark I. Just be glad it's not in yellow. And in this corner, we have costing 7,800,000 credits, the Ferrari 250 GT Baronetta. And no, this is not the first time that I've seen this car, as I have seen a car similar to it in the TV series called Viper, but anyways. And in this corner, we have costing 6 million credits, and being a winning racing car, the Aston Martin DB3S. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits, the car that not only brought Mercedes-Benz to victory lane for the first time, but also formed the foundation for the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL road car, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. And in this corner, we have costing 20 million credits, a car that looks like the kind of car that Cruella de Vil would drive, the Alfa Romeo 8C 2900B Touring Berlinetta. And it's also one of the two cars, if I remember correctly, to have a straight 8 engine in the game itself. And I always like the straight 8 engine, it's an interesting engine layout. But anyways, and in this corner, we have costing 13 million credits, the oldest car to appear in Gran Turismo 7 so far, the Mercedes-Benz S-Barker Tourer. And yeah, I actually kind of like the car, by the way. But anyways, and last but certainly not least, we have the car that I'll be using in this video, costing 4 million credits and being one of the most expensive cars in Grand Central, the race car for the road, the Aston Martin Valkyrie. And yes, they actually made a racing version of it, by the way. But anyways, on to the challenge. Alrighty, here we go. So, here are the rules for this challenge. 1. I cannot make any alterations to this car whatsoever, so that means no setups and no upgrades. And 2, I'm not allowed to use the overtake button. So yeah, they're pretty simple and easy to understand rules. Yeah, I wanted to give the opponents a head start, and even with Sport Soft tires, this car is still pretty fast. Yeah. Yeah, this corner's pretty tricky. Because it has a jump right before you send it into the corner, which can affect braking. And this is also a pretty tricky corner because, yeah, it is hard not to get into the grass, that corner, and it can easily affect your clean race bonus. So be careful. Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. And just like that, we passed all, well, I mean, most of my most expensive cars that I've bought. Yeah, it's a pretty cool challenge, and I highly recommend you to do it sometimes. So, I'm open to suggestions on which car I could use next. I could use the Super Formula dressed up like an Indy car, or Aston Martin Vulcan, or Red Bull. I'm open to any suggestions, but anyways, I'm gonna sign off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. And I also have a replay to the race itself, if you want to see it. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.